Hello everyone, welcome back to Hush Hush Taboo Talks with Juju and Shay. I'm Shay.
I'm Juju.
And how everybody is doing today. Welcome back to our podcast, our episodes, our YouTube, our Instagram, whatever you're on right now. Welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the introduction to angel numbers and its meanings. And I feel like we can do multiple segments on this because I feel like there's multiple parts in angel numbers, such as we can even elaborate on each number. You know, there's definitely a meaning behind each one, and it's also how you take it. So whatever you're going through at the moment too is what the angel number is trying to tell you, if you're on the right path, and we'll get into it more. So angel numbers are sequences of numbers that have spiritual meaning. So I believe let me tell you, so I'm just going to get a little bit into my journey, my spiritual journey. I did not start seeing angel numbers until I was on my spiritual journey. I didn't know nothing about angel numbers. I didn't know nothing about it. I wasn't aware. And I feel like when you're more living in the moment and more mindful of things, you see more angel numbers. You see sequence in numbers more. You don't have to be looking for it. You don't have to be like, oh my God, let me find it. It could just be you check your phone and there's 222. You look up at a license plate number and there's 444. You look at the clock and there's 555. So it's like it comes to you. And I believe this sequence of numbers have messages, and there's a lot of beliefs on this. What do you think about it?
In sync with that, yeah.
Yes.
The synchronicity of it. Same. I didn't. Most of it. I feel like, for me, I was in. You know something without necessarily having spoken language for it.
Right.
So, I probably was in tune with synchronicity in terms of numbers, and I was always like at least decent at math. It's
Right.
when it got to like calculus and shit. But
Right.
the algebra I love. So I feel like math is another language. So to be in tune with that, even on a subconscious level, but I didn't really consciously get into it till more recently in life.
Right.
And then, like you said, when you're practicing rituals, so to speak, practicing your spiritual journey, not just theorizing about it or philosophizing about it, but putting it into practice, then you become aware of such a thing as angel numbers. Then once you're in, you're in. You can't unknow things.
You can't unnotice it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like once you're mindful, you're there already. And to me, I don't know how you take angel numbers, but to me, I feel like they're just like dreams and intuition. They're spiritual messages. But this is just more of an everyday awareness of angels checking on you, or the universe is trying to tell you something, or what are you doing right now that resonates with this certain number. You know, things like that. What do you think?
They're interpretive. I have a few.
Absolutely.
I just have a few that I can run down. I've been seeing 2, 3, 4. I think I said this in a prior episode, which add up to 9, and 9 is really is a powerful. Since we're speaking on numbers anyway, 9 is a powerful number in general, but also in my specific life and chart. But 999, you are experiencing a cycle of completion. It can also mean the shadow side of it, that you're clinging too tightly to the past. So those don't necessarily have to do with each other, but there's different interpretations. And then another one says for 999 to release what no longer serves you. Something needs to end. Let go of the past. So these are all kind of different. They might be different sides of the same coin, but different sources will, at least in my experience, will yield different results.
Right.
But I feel like it's whatever resonates with you.
That's
the
what I
most.
said. Yeah. It's definitely upon what you're going through, what's your situation right now, what is your experiences. Also, it can be like spiritual messages from spirit guides, from angels, from ancestors. It can be messages that somebody's trying to tell you something, and this is how they communicate with you. Because, like you said, math is actually the first language, I feel like, because when you're building things like from the pyramids, it goes back to the Egyptian signs, like you said, the chemists and stuff like that. They based their building the pyramids and things like that on actually math. And if you see the algebra equations and all that stuff, it went way back to ancient Egyptian times.
Math, philosophy, specific astrology, which is all numerological. It deals with numbers. Yeah.
And what number I always see 777, 888, and 1111 nowadays. Now it changes from time to time. And 1111, I always like make a wish or have my intuition focused, because they said pay attention to your thoughts in this moment. Make sure it's aligning with your highest self, because you're a quick manifester. So you basically can manifest things very quickly. So pay attention to your thoughts and make sure you're thinking positive things to manifest in your life. And just be mindful about that. So I feel like you said, once you're in, you're in. And you know, you get that, and you know, you get that message from the spirit guide, and you look it up and you read about it, and like you said, it's different interpretations for everybody. So there's different messages for everybody. But I feel like in the moment when I'm seeing 111 and 1111, there's definitely something with alignment in it. So I definitely pay attention to my thoughts when I'm seeing the 1 number, if that makes sense.
Right. I got you. Yeah. I see 2, 3, 4 more than not in 1, 2, 3, which from offhand, because I don't have what those mean offhand in front of me, but offhand, they're they're sequential and foundational, like building blocks. In general, like if your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and 2, 3, 4 is not too much different than that, but 2, 3, 4 in particular means, from what I understood and gathered and how I assimilated it to my life, because you're gonna know the best way it's gonna apply to you, and if it doesn't apply to you, look for something. You know, if you're that interested, you're gonna read and find other sources until something resonates, and if it might not until later, you know, or it might not, but you know, it's interpretive too. These things are interpretive. But 2, 3, 4 for me meant to remember my creativity and to practice it more. And I have some things in the works, so that makes sense. But it's more of a, I see it so much. It's I feel like it's an insistence from the universe to do it. It's like, if you don't do it, I'm gonna make you do it, and you ain't gonna like it. So do it, because I'm telling. It's like slapping me in the face.
It's a push from the universe.
Duly noted. But yeah, you have to pay. I gotta pay attention to it anyway.
Yeah, you got. I feel like you have to stay attuned to your inner guidance too when you're looking at these numbers. The only way you can actually see these numbers coming to you, if you're mindful in the moment, but also pay attention to your inner guidance when you're looking at these numbers and when you're witnessing these repeating numbers. And for those who do not know what angel numbers are, I should have started off with this, but angel numbers are repeated numbers that you're seeing in sequences. Like you said, you keep seeing 2, 3, 4, right? And I keep seeing 11, 11. So they're just repeated numbers from time to time that you see. So even if you're not mindful in the moment and you keep seeing this number, something is out there is telling you to be mindful at this moment and trying to awake you from the 3D world, if that makes sense.
Right, the 3D matrix. And I've just recently came upon, like, they don't have to be sequential or 3 in a row or 4 in a row. It could be something like 27. If you keep seeing 20,
keep seeing it,
even
absolutely.
if it's a 2-digit, if you keep seeing it, there's meaning behind it. And I thought they had to be, 3 in a row or sequential, but it could be any number.
I kept seeing 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. And I looked that up and it was some meaning I forgot. But it does not have to be like the sequence. It doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be, right. I saw 40 when I took the bus. And I was saying, don't take this bus. Inside joke. It's regional humor, y'all. So, yeah, they have different meanings, and they could all...
What's 1010? Because I've been seeing 1010 too.
1010. Something near completion. Keep working towards your goals.
Okay.
So that's a good omen.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like we gain a deeper understanding for spiritual messages and for ourselves when we look at these messages, because like how you said, something's in completion. I'm doing something right now that is near completion, so I feel like that says a lot. Like it definitely makes sense.
It applies.
Me. Yeah, it applies. And like you were saying, you were seeing numbers while we were recording. What numbers were you seeing?
222, 333. There's a time ticker that a program revealed, and 444.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I just said, it's dawning on me now. I see 234 all the time. So yeah, I'm gonna take a pause. I'm gonna meditate on that after we're done. Like in my own solitude. Yeah, that's it's not for naught. I don't believe in coincidences.
No.
I mean, I don't subscribe to coincidences. I feel like every once in a blue moon, it's like, oh, this happened and that happened at the same time. So that's coincidence. But I don't think there are mistakes or things like that. I think it's just a matter of knowing it or being aware of it or less in tune with it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you're more receptive than not.
Right.
And
I feel like this been, like I said, since Egyptian time, this has been going on forever. Certain cultures and spiritual tribes and things like that believed in numerology and certain messages that comes from numbers, even though they didn't call it angel numbers, but they believed in numerology. And numerology is just like astrology in a sense. You have a number in life, like you have a certain number, and your certain number tells you your life path, your purpose, and your divine connection. And that's just like astrology in a sense with your sun sign. It's the same thing. So you can actually go to a numerologist and they can tell you, like a real one, if you can find a real legit one, they can actually read your numbers and tell you this is what type of person you are, this is your future, this still goes on in some spiritual practices and traditions today. So like this is really real in some culture.
Divination.
Yes.
That goes back as far as
in
human
spiritual traditions. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we used to be so much more in tune with our pineal gland, our third eye. Things used to manifest, materialize just with the use of the third eye.
Right.
And then, certain cultures and diets and conditioning and all that happened over, centuries and centuries. But, it used to be mostly here, mostly cerebral.
Mostly here. So now people doubt, like how we went on TikTok Live and they're like, oh, well, we don't believe in astrology and we don't believe in...
Then this ain't the place for you. I was just going to say, I'm sorry, hold that thought, please, but I had to get this shit out. Okay, I don't like sideline naysaying, you know what I mean? So I could do better, but you didn't do it. If you didn't do it, then go do it. And this is not the forum for you. All right, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just had to get that out. Naysaying, if I don't like something, I don't engage it.
Me neither.
It's not for me, I'm
keep
going to dismiss
scrolling,
it.
And I'm like, why would I stop here on this person's live
to say that I disapprove?
If this is not the topic that I'm interested in or I don't like.
Right.
Like,
and there's plenty of shit I don't like.
There's plenty of shit I don't like, but I'm not going to waste my energy and time going on this person's page saying, I don't like this.
You're not going to convert people. Either way, because we're not even trying to convert people. We're just sharing our observations.
We're just sharing our observation.
People are going to be who and what they want unless and until they want to change. So, but that's not the forum, and we will block. We will block and delete. So.